Welcome to our April Fireside Chat. My name is Hannah Taylor and I'm the ASCSU President this year.
My name is Noah Schindler and I'm the ASCSU Vice President.
Let's get started with telling you all what we've been up to for this month. The Office of the President has been working with CSU PD to address some student concerns and build communications between the students and CSU PD. I interviewed Chief of Police Wendy Rich Goldschmidt and Captain Frank Johnson. We'll watch that now. Hello, my name is Hannah Taylor and I'm the ASCSU President for this year. Today I have some guests from CSU PD joining me to talk about some of the programs that they have going and some resources that they offer to students, and as well addressing some student questions. Thank you all so much for joining me today.
Well, greetings everybody. I'm happy to be here. I am the Interim Executive Director of Campus Safety and Security for Colorado State University Police Department. My name is Wendy Rich Goldschmidt, and I'm also a former police chief here at CSU, where I served from 2009 to 2013.
Good afternoon. My name is Frank Johnson, and I am a captain over investigative services with the Colorado State University Police Department. I have been with the Colorado State University Police Department for over 15 years now, and thank you.
Will you tell me a little bit about the dual responder program that you all are working on?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking it. The dual responder program has actually been around since the 1980s, however, not in very commonality throughout cities or universities for that matter. But it's something that when I came back to CSU here several months ago, I realized we didn't have operational here at Colorado State University. So in coordinating with other stakeholders, I looked at the opportunity for us to bring a similar model to Colorado State, which ultimately serves to provide a mental health practitioner, sometimes a medical professional such as an EMT, and a police officer who is specifically trained to work with this team to address a variety of mental health, substance abuse, threats of harm types of situations, in an effort to provide a more holistic type of resource to address individuals who might be in crisis. And clearly we're all aware of situations where, due to police officers taking on more responsibility that sometimes, quite frankly, is out of their real wheelhouse, if you will. And this model really focuses back on providing the best resources to individuals who might be experiencing a crisis, and hopefully, obviously, with the goal of having the best outcomes possible. So it's really a very exciting model, and I'm hopeful that it's something that we will have in place perhaps for you all when you come back in the fall.
That sounds like a fantastic program. We've heard a lot of feedback from students as far as how do you all work with like different stakeholders in the community to ensure that like different needs are addressed, and so that sounds like a fantastic program. I have a question about registering bikes on campus. So why do you all think that it's important for students to register their bikes?
Oh, that's another good question. And there are multiple reasons why it's a good idea for students to register their bikes. The first one would be identification. With the number of students that we have on campus, of course, you know, you're going to get some people riding the same type of bike. If there's ever a mix-up, we can look at the serial number and make sure that the bike gets to the proper owner, and help students out with any type of confusion that they may have. Another reason for registering a bike is just in case a bike is stolen. You know, of course, we're open, we're a public institution, and we have people from all walks of life coming through the campus, and you never know who may come through, or someone may steal a bike. And if that does happen, it helps us to recover the bike and get it back to the students.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. So what is the process that you all go through when a bike is reported stolen?
Okay, the process that we go through, we have two processes that we'll go through, because there's two ways for students to actually make a complaint or to report their bike stolen. They could do it online. If they decide to do it online, one of our officers would check the online database and go through the identification or the description of the bike. We'll check pawn shops, check our database and see if anything has been reported, or once it's reported, to see if it's been located, I should say. If a student comes into the department or calls an officer out, the system is pretty much the same. However, it's just one is in person and one isn't. So the officer will come out, take a report, get all the descriptions on the bike, again, check the databases to see if it has been recovered. We'll check pawn shops to see if it's been pawned off or anything of that nature. And we'll do what we can to make sure we can get that bike back to the student.
Absolutely, that's great. So when a student wants to report their bike stolen on the website, are you all talking about the CSU PD website? Is it through that?
Yes, it is the CSU PD website that they would go to. Yes.
Okay, great. To change gears a little bit, what are some of the resources that you all have for students on campus?
Some of the resources we have for students on campus. Well, we have multiple resources. One resource would be what we refer to as our Safe Walk program. Safe Walk program is one in which if someone's not feeling comfortable, maybe walking at night, it could be during the day or whenever it is, but mostly it occurs during the evening hours. If someone's not feeling comfortable doing so or safe, they can call the police department, and we'll send our student employees out to escort them. Student employees will be identified with the clothing that they will be wearing, CSU shirts, jacket, or CSU PD shirts or jackets. And with that, they will be in pairs, so they won't be alone. They'll also have a radio where they'll be in constant contact with our dispatch center. If we don't have what we refer to them as campus security officers, but if we don't have any available, our officers will also provide that service as well.
Okay, great.
Other services that we have, and COVID kind of put a stop to some of that right now, but we do have internships that we provide for students, especially those who are looking to go into law enforcement. We have employment, the CSO program, the Campus Security Officer program that we have. We also have other areas in which we employ students from the campus. So, yeah. Mentoring, coaching, and things of that nature.
Great. So are there any of the resources, I know you mentioned because of the pandemic that things have changed a little bit. Are there certain resources that are no longer available right now, but you all are planning on bringing them back as soon as it's safe to do so?
Yes. The one is the ride-along program. That is a resource that we offer to students so they can get a glimpse into law enforcement, get to see what's going on the CSU campus. And right now, because of COVID, we're not doing it, but as soon as we can, that'll be something that we'll open up again. So we would like to, like the students to see what goes on in law enforcement, and especially on our campus. It's also an opportunity for us to be transparent and let the community see what we actually do.
Yeah, that's an awesome resource. I'm hoping that you all get to do that again soon when it's safe to do so.
President Taylor, thank you so much for having us. I hope that this is one of many opportunities we'll have to meet with you and maybe your predecessors and work with the students at ASCSU in the future. Thank you.
Yes, we greatly appreciate you having us here. We want to do all we can to help our students. This is our community as well, and we want everyone to know that not only are we part of it, we are active participant of this community. So thank you.
Our Department of Environmental Affairs has been working with the Zero Waste team and the Laurie Student Center Governing Board on developing composting within the Laurie Student Center. This semester they did a composting pilot program and are currently working on finalizing the initial strategy and refining it to create the final proposal for next year.
We're continuing to do work with Ramride on the Ramride Secure program. So far, 70 students have been granted $200 in Lyft credits to help their transportation needs. And we've also provided an additional $6,000 so that the program can continue over the summer. This is the first program aimed to help students with transportation insecurity that will continue over the summer as well.
Our Office of State and Local Policy has developed an online voter guide for the local municipal elections on April 6th. The guide, which included information on registering to vote, a list of candidates for mayor, and each district, received 3,336 page views as of Election Day. Each candidate had a link to their website and articles about their campaigns included as well. Many of these candidates also opted to respond to a survey our office constructed that featured student-related concerns and questions.
Yeah, our Department of Health has been busy. They proposed to the Board of Student Organization Funding, BSOF, to use $40,000 to provide 10,000 students to annual subscriptions for the app called Headspace. The proposal was passed by BSOF, and they're currently working on getting the bill to transfer the funds passed by BSOF through the Senate. If the bill passes, students should gain access before the end of the school year to the Headspace app.
Our Department of State and Local Policy has been working on adding a plug-in to the ASCSU website so that students can leave reviews on places they've lived. Students can then go to the review system and read reviews before signing a lease. Hopefully, this should be done before the end of May.
Yeah, the Office of the President and the Department of State and Local Policy are working with the Director of Off-Campus Life on a bill to provide their office $125,000 to fund a position that would implement the Good Neighbor program. The Good Neighbor program will set standards for property managers if they wish to be a part of the program. The property managers must demonstrate fair business practices, take reasonable and prompt action to resolve conflicts, and promote responsible alcohol consumption on their property. The bill to fund this will be up for a vote this week in the Senate session. Our Department of Traditions and Programs as well has been working with our Department of Health, and they've been providing testing incentives for COVID testing at the MAC gym. They've been doing raffle giveaways for $25 vouchers to the CSU bookstore, and then giving $5 coffee vouchers for coffee shops on campus for all students that go get tested when they're not doing the raffles.
The Student Fee Review Board recently voted to approve the long bill. The name we have for the approved fee package. I'm happy to report that this board approved an increase of 1.08%. Sadly, due to fee increases approved by the previous board, are set to take effect this fall. Students will see a $3 per credit hour increase in their fee. For students enrolled in 15 credits, that means they'll be paying 4.33% more in student fees. The final step in this process is having the bill approved by Senate, who votes on if SFRB has followed the process outlined by the bylaws rather than on whether or not they agree with the increase.
Yeah, those are all the updates that we have for this month, but thank you so much for tuning in and watching.
Thank you all.